I write everything, even if it's like whatever, like Jeffrey Dahmer, like dismembering a body. You're still doing it I still do it from a comedic point of view, which is essentially like looking at something and being like, okay, what's the unusual thing? It's always looking for the unusual thing and returning to it.
Now, introducing Full Out with Brittany Ross.
I'd show the picture, but I look fat in it. The doctor was like, he walked in, he was like, whoa. He's like, I'm allergic to everything except for molds and food.
Whoa.
But like every flower, every tree, every
except
grass,
for mold?
every animal. Mm-hmm.
Isn't everyone allergic to mold?
Yes.
Except
but like
for you.
Specific.
But it's weird because Ian was saying that he's allergic to hypoallergenic dogs.
Yes. Yeah. But then the theory is behind, it's exposure therapy that drops.
You might have to raise this higher. You can just pull it up, I think. It's a little...
The drops are essentially exposure therapy.
Okay.
They're giving you a little bit of it until your body realizes like, oh, we don't have to overreact to it or whatever.
Yeah.
So then I was like, well, I think that's when like if you have a dog, even if you're allergic to it, but it's small enough, you're essentially giving yourself, like Trask is just essentially giving me an allergy shot every.
Oh, that's
so
a good
that's
idea.
the way I'm kind of rationalizing the dog.
I've had weird allergies since having Benjamin, and somebody told me it's like hormonal, and you can have Hutchie, who you also know, was like I've had 3 insane allergy attacks since having him, where they lasted for like 3 days. But one I was in Vegas, and then one I was at my mom's house who has cats, and then one my dad was here for Halloween, and then I started to realize, am I just allergic to my parents?
Yeah,
I think I've developed like an insane allergy to my parents because they happen to be there. It's like the only common denominator is that my parents are around. I'm like, is there some kind of stress response
That's amazing.
that my body is having when my parents are around and my eyes start watering and I can't stop sneezing? And I'm like, is that a thing? Would that show up on an allergy test?
I don't know. Do you know no one's allergic to meat?
Oh.
Like you've never met anyone with like a lamb allergy.
Weird.
Isn't that weird?
Well, I don't eat meat because it makes me really tired.
Really?
So, I don't eat meat because if I eat meat, I need to I get really cold. It's like my body can't digest it and it's working overtime to
your blood's
digest.
going in your stomach and then
I get really cold. I need to go stand in the sun or take a hot shower and then I need to take a nap. So I don't know. To each their own. You guys, this is Ian Brennan.
Hi.
Welcome to the podcast.
Hi. Hi.
I feel like everyone knows you from Glee, mainly, but that's not really how I know you, which is so funny that I'm happy your full out story that you chose to talk about, but I also met you and I was like, he is the most full out person I've ever met.
Yeah, that's probably true.
So you're just a perfect guest for the podcast.
It's a real delight to be here.
Yeah. I want to tell you when I first heard about you was because you made a UCB Herald team.
That's right.
And I was in UCB improv at that time.
Yep.
And I heard that the guy who created Glee was doing a UCB Herald team. And I was like, who is this guy?
It was weird.
Yeah. And then I met you and I think I went to a show and I was like, oh, this guy has to be on a UCB Herald team. I felt like you were somebody who was like, I just need to do the things that I need to do.
Yes. I also was 10 years older than everybody else. So my references were up. You just reference something and people would be like, uh-huh. And I'd be like, no. Well, it's because I always wanted to do, because I never got to do, it wasn't until I was working in television that I had my nights free to do improv. Uh-huh. Whereas when I would have normally done it, I was living in Chicago, but I was doing plays there. So I never had my nights free. I was working as an actor in Chicago. So it was always this thing that I was desperate to do. And then I was like, oh, I can finally do it.
So
it was just super
Glee
weird.
Were you still doing Glee when you did that? Yeah, you were, right?
No, our Herald team would rehearse on the Paramount lot.
Oh my gosh. That's
It was super,
so funny.
it was super weird.
I knew a girl. This is how I knew because do you know Ellie? I can't remember her last name. I think she was on your Herald team.
Kovara, she's brilliant and
Yeah,
hilarious.
I was on an improv team with her. It was like 3 women on a team together.
Hilarious.
And I think that's around the time I stopped doing improv, but she made this team and you were on her team. And I was like, this is so funny.
It was very peculiar. I tried to not think about it at the time because I was like, this is peculiar and I'm probably taking the spot away from someone who is more in need.
But you're also like, I feel like they wouldn't just put you on the team to be on the team.
Yes. Yeah. And I had to like earn my stripes, but it's also like amazing. It's the single best like professional development thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
Completely transformed the way I like think creatively and write. Totally.
How?
Even not work, because you're always, when I write everything, even if it's like whatever, like Jeffrey Dahmer, like dismembering a body, you're still doing it I still do it from a comedic point of view, which is essentially like looking at something and being like, okay, what's the unusual thing? It's always looking for the unusual thing and returning to it and hiding and exploring. So it's like, which I think everybody who's remotely like funny does that kind of intuitively a bit, but it was nice to have that codified.
It's like their own worldview of like how they see the world and like what's weird to them. Yeah, totally. Yeah. But you found like a way to like grasp it.
Yes. Yeah. And it is has very much like informed my like process since, I would say. Like it was a great thing. I feel like
that's so cool. I feel like it must have been weird. I always think about this because I feel like I'm so opposite of this in a way where I feel like you threw yourself into a room of people that you could give all of them a job. And like being around all of these people who are like trying to get into your things.
Super weird.
I almost like I feel like I've almost tried not to be friends with you because I don't want you to think that I want anything from you because I don't. I'm just like, I'm like the opposite kind of a person where I'm like, no, Ian and I are friends, but I don't ever want you to think that I like am trying to be your friend to get a job from you.
You've never given the thirsty vibe.
Okay. Well, sometimes Mark was like, but it's okay to also be friends with people.
Yeah,
I'm like, but I don't want anybody to ever think that. I have like a few people like that in my life where I'm like, I don't want anyone to ever think, but I feel like you threw yourself into that, and that had to have been weird, right?
Yes. Yeah. I tried not to think about it.
But people come at you like that, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell or no?
Yeah, actually, most used to be people who didn't. People were very like tasteful.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like once you get to on a team, it's like, oh, we all have to like be doing the same thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I had to quit. Then when I had my like second child, it was actually like Diablo Cody of all people who was working with at the time, who was like, wait, you're doing what? I was like, oh, no, Herald team. She's like, and she was like, the 2 things you can't do once you have kids is improv or a band. And I was so like, funny. Fuck, Diablo Cody just ruined it for me.
That's so true. I mean, especially your second kid, I feel like everything becomes... We were talking about this the other day because our friend just had a 3rd kid. And for some reason, it's like stressing Marco out in a way. I'm like, you're not having a 3rd kid, Marco. It's our friends who had a 3rd kid. And he's like mad about it in a way of like, how could they do this to themselves? But I think that like we were saying that people who have 1 kid have no understanding. Like I had no understanding of what having 2 kids was. I think people who have 2 kids could kind of grasp what 3 kids would be in a way that's like, that seems crazy.
Yep.
Right?
Yes. We should have done 3.
Really?
Yep. It was totally, if not for COVID, we would totally have a 3rd child. I occasionally just like my eyes will wander to like an empty chair at the dinner table and just be like, who were you, ghost baby?
Oh.
Just have this sense that you'd be like, it would fucking totally suck. But then like Thanksgiving 20 years from now
will be fun.
Yeah. You're like, who's making the potatoes? Like little Rick.
Little Rick, the ghost baby. I feel like that's when everybody needs to just like hire a 23andMe lost child to come to Thanksgiving one year.
Absolutely.
And be like, oh, this is your dad's like second
Totally.
family baby.
Totally.
Just to
I
like
just need a
throw a
second
wrench in
family.
the plan. You just need a second family.
The problem with the third child, though, too, is it's a little bit like spitting in the face of God, where you're like, and particularly having a boy and a girl.
I know,
it's
that's how I
literally
feel, too.
They call it the millionaire's family because you've like struck it rich. Like you got everything you could possibly want, and then it's kind of like staring up at the sky. I mean, like, and they're healthy and perfect, and then like, but more. That was actually more the thing that I was like, then if we do a third, we'll get a weird one.
Yeah,
we'll get
it's
something.
really
We'll get the murderer,
scary.
the one who murders the other two or murders us.
I know. That's really, really, really scary.
Yeah.
Really scary. I know. Sometimes
Probably not the most irrational.
I
fear.
think that too, though.
Yep.
I think that too. I feel like I have weird thoughts like that. That's why I can't watch any of your shows now, because I have weird irrational thoughts that you also like write about those kinds of people all the time who just like kill everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, but we always do. Our shows, at least, they're like interesting. Like it's never like, they're never like, I couldn't do a show about like a rapist. Like they're not they're not sadists. They're just weird.
Yeah.
Like Ed
But they're
Gein's just
still,
super
like-
weird. Yeah, fucking corpses.
And they also like, they killed their parents.
Yes.
And they like,
That's dark. I mean, the Menendez brothers is probably the darkest one.
Yeah.
Because they like, but then like I don't know, if what the dad did to them is true.
Then it's like, okay, they had it coming.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, you totally like did the right thing.
Yeah, I know. I remember asking you about it because I was like, I can't watch it, but I'm like weirdly obsessed with the story of it. But I'm so scared to watch it because I'm scared I'm going to be the person who like blacks out in the night and kills my whole family. That's like my big like.
I have that too. I
scary
have
thought.
I have a thing that like I'll somehow lose control and go on a murderous rampage, and you're like, I'm not sure if that's a thing.
No, I don't know. I mean, mine came up after having kids, like insanely, like my irrational thoughts about that, where I had to go to therapy a lot after Penelope because I thought I couldn't even like be around a knife. I thought I
Really?
was gonna like black out in my sleep and like kill everybody.
Yeah.
And I had like my therapist would be like, you just need to sit. I went to like an OCD, like overcoming, like,
Really?
kind of like immersion kind of person because I was like, I can't sleep because I'm scared if I fall asleep, I'm gonna kill my whole family.
Really?
Yeah. I talked to a few women, like it's something that gets really heightened after having kids too.
Yeah.
Where it's like my friend started telling me all her irrational thoughts and she was so far past like the just like postpartum phase where she could just say it. And I was like, you can say that out loud? Like that's so dark and scary.
I've always pictured though, like I remember, and I shouldn't have told my mother this, but I one time was like just unloading the dishwasher and then she was leaned over and I was just like, oh, I totally pictured like out of horror that you're like, oh, I could do this. And then, but I shouldn't have told my mother that.
Because what did she say?
Well, she's just like, I can't believe you like pictured murdering me. And I was like, no. It was like out of horror. Like I had no intention of it. And she's like, no, but like that is right. She's kept that. She like totally put that in her.
And she's like, that's why Ian writes the shows that he writes.
Yeah.
And that's like why, Yeah. I know, but everybody does that though. It's like pretty normal, I think, but nobody talks about it. I remember though we went to lunch with our kids and I was like grilling you on the brothers, the Menendez brothers. And your son was there and he's like, what are you guys talking about? And you're like, remember those bad brothers I'm writing a show about? You call them the bad brothers.
Yeah. I finally did have to be like, he's like, what did they do? And I was like, oh, they shot their parents. Just gonna
I
let
know
it all
they
out
have
there.
to find out at some point.
Yeah.
I feel like we knew that stuff when we were younger, but our kids don't. I did at least.
I'm actually. I think it's like they're less fragile than you'd think.
Yeah.
He was sort of like, oh, that's terrible, and I was like, no, it is terrible, and it's really unusual. So
don't get any ideas.
Yeah.
No, you have like the nicest son in the world.
No, but I have thought, even absent the sexual abuse that they allege, Jose Menendez was a dick. That if I was just as much of a dick as Jose Menendez was to his kids, I would fully expect my
Them to
children
kill you.
like shotgun.
Totally. I know. Penelope yesterday, she goes, I was cutting open some like edamame or something with the kitchen scissors and I set them down on the counter and then I looked up to be like, where are the scissors? And she was looking at me, but across the counter, and now she's like, I don't know. And I was like, my weird brain is like, are you going to kill all of us? It's your plan to steal the kitchen scissors? And I was like, but what were you doing? You're just doing a joke, right? And she was like, yeah, I'm just doing a joke. Yeah. But I'm like, I'm
That's
trying
to.
I know, like it starts as a joke. And then you end up in a show that Ian's writing about. Ian's going to be like, I actually know this one really well.
Yep.
I know them. Okay. Well, I asked you to tell me a full out story. And you were like, I feel like show choir is too on the nose.
Well, I would have gone, but I also didn't like show choir. I did show choir because I had to be. It was because I was really into theater, and so. But in order to like be in the musicals, you had to be in show choir, and then it was like so. It's not that. And then I went. I got full into like karate. I had a lot of like rodents.
Rodents.
Yeah. We had because we couldn't. I was allergic, so I couldn't have like dogs, which is dumb because then we got all the. I'm also allergic to them, so we just had different allergens
that you were allergic to.
Yeah, still allergic. But yeah, the thing I got like into really pretty deep for about I would say from like 7th grade to like freshman year was collecting the Pop Tops on aluminum cans.
It's so funny because you just told me Pop Tops and I was like, these must be like Pogs or something. Like, what is he talking about? Because you're like, I had gallons of, so I looked it up and it's like
gallons.
Just actual tops of cans.
Yeah, just tops of can. Yeah, because it's made out of zinc and it's like a different metal and it's like valuable. And so like I was then like, oh my, and I didn't, it's not like we were poor, but I didn't have a lot of like access to money myself. Like I would have gotten like $1 allowance, but like loved money. So I was like, and liked things. So if I wanted like a remote control car, I was like, I'm years away from getting a remote control car at the rate I'm earning.
$1
yeah,
a
it's
week.
really gonna like we're measuring this in like decades.
Yeah.
That I'm even gonna be able to afford the wheels on a skateboard, for instance. So I was like, oh, this is my way in. So I just got into the habit. I mean, I can see there's 3 right here now that I would have just gone up to at any room I was in for years, would go up and you turn it around, you pop it off, and then I would put it in my back right pocket. And I did this for years. And then
wait, you wouldn't even ask people, you just take them.
Yeah, I suppose I would, but it got so routine that like people would just like they just hand, they like sort of like hand it to me or they take it off themselves. Sometimes people like a lunch table would just be like, here, we already like did it. So I'd be like, okay, great. So it'd be like, so gosh. I would assemble roughly, and I was sort of budgeting it out. I was sort of like, oh, this is like hundreds of dollars. Like I have $5 in my pocket right now.
How many does it take to like, at least back then, like how much could you get?
There would be what I was told was that, and I think it was all because they would use it. It was like, it started with fundraisers.
Okay.
This was the thing. You'd collect gallons of Pop Tops for like, I don't know. And then it would be like $70. I think I remember. It was like,
for
like a gallon. Yeah. But it's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot.
Yeah. So I would just like collect. And I didn't quite know where I was supposed to take them, but had like gallons and gallons of it and would just, I had so many that I then like my freshman year in high school was first love time. Fell in love with Trisha, who was an upperclassman.
That's my mom's name.
She's an upperclassman, and then she got into it too. She would help me. Like she
really loved you.
I don't think she did.
I feel like if she fell into your thing.
Yeah. You'd think. She then moved away. It was very heartbreaking.
Oh.
I think I was kind of in the friend zone with Trisha, if I'm being honest.
But she's like, this guy's making money.
Yeah.
This guy knows how to make money. Yeah.
Yeah,
but were you turning them in for money though?
No,
it sounds
they're
like
not
you just
worth
started
anything.
Collecting them.
They're not worth anything. This is the end of the story.
Well, $70 for a gallon.
It would be the same. They're not made out. I don't know where I got any of this information. They're not made out of zinc. They're not valuable.
What?
No. They have no intrinsic value. They're just.
So you can't trade them in.
No. No, they're
And when
just
did you
worth
find that out?
Like years into this, after having done it for years. Like I would have had 7 or 8 sticky milk jugs full of this shit that I'd been doing and never bothered to really double check it. There was no like internet then. So it was a complete fucking waste of time.
But when did you take
collected.
do you remember the moment when you realized they weren't worth anything?
I think Trisha did. I think she like looked it up or whatever and was like, no, they're aluminum. So they're not like absent any value, but it's not like I lived in Maine or Iowa or California where you can even make like, like the thing on the thing. It's like they're either worth 10 cents or like 5 cents. From Illinois, it's not worth anything. You can't exchange. You can bring in something to a recycling center. They're not going to give you money for it. They'll be like, sure, but they're not going to
give you like a Hot Wheels car for turning in your stuff.
Certainly not cold hard cash. And I think even had I lived in like Vermont or whatever, where I'd probably collected maybe $2 worth.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was a total waste of time.
But do you feel like you had to stay with it because it was like your thing?
No, I completely abandoned it right then.
No, but when you were doing it, did it kind of just become like your thing?
Yeah, well, it was like my job. It was like sort of like the thing I did. It was like my side. It was like
your
hustle.
Long game side hustle? Because you did it for years.
What
did
would
your
say
parents
approximately. Think? I don't remember them having an opinion about it. They were probably, I'm sure they were just like bemused by it.
Did you keep them in your room?
No, in our like laundry room.
Oh my gosh, you'd come home and like empty your Pop Tops?
Yeah, into a thing. And then it was like this slow, total waste of hundreds of hours of my life. Trisha, bless her heart, and I wish I still had it. I don't, but made me took all these Pop Tops and then made like a vest out of them.
Oh my gosh, it's probably worth at least $70. That vest, Trisha moved away with all the Pop Tops and started making stuff with them.
She sure did. I think once she did move away, she's sort of like, I sent you something, and then like opened it up and it looked like, like it was like a bunch of Pop Tops connected by large safety pins, if you could picture. So that's the fabric. It's Pop Top, safety pin, Pop Top, safety pin, popped, and then on every safety pin was like a translucent bead. So it just looked very gay. It had no. So I was just like, wear it, and then I like put it on. I was like, oh,
I can't.
Like it doesn't. Yeah, it's like not. It's like gay chainmail.
That is so funny. That's so funny. But I feel like she did love you if she made you something like that.
I don't know. Yeah, but I think.
But yeah, I think she did. I think to spend that much time making something, unless she just really liked making things. But
I was like her bestie. Besto.
So she thought you were her
but I don't
gay
think
bestie.
She ever really wanted
a gay bestie.
I think
she
maybe.
wanted a gay bestie.
But little did you know that like her, what she thought was just a gay bestie, like was really anxious to bone down.
Yeah, and like you were working really hard for your job, and like that's so funny.
Yeah, really wanted to.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So. But I feel like there had to be something in it to keep you going for that long, even if you like didn't, because you weren't turning them in for money.
No, but I'm incredibly persistent. I will, and I'll totally stick with something. I feel even like if it's stupid.
That's so funny. We try and like correlate like what your full out thing was into like what you're doing now in your life. Do you see those tendencies in yourself still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like hyper focus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which can be a good thing. Like you spiraled it into like a real career.
Sure. But pivoting off that career is probably then not something that's ever in the cards.
Pivoting off that career. Oh, because it's like hyper focus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I always think that you're sort of like, once I'm in, I would need to be like dragged kicking and screaming out of current career.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like some people are just much more comfortable
Flexible.
with, yeah.
I'm not very flexible. I get the like hyper fixation
Yep.
thing too. Where, like I have a thing where it's like hard for me to stop doing what I'm doing in the moment. Like I need to like continue.
Yep.
If I said I'm going to do something, I need to like finish it and do it that way.
Yep.
But it's like, why? It's only for myself. It's not for anybody else, you know? It's like my friend the other day was like, I ran the LA Marathon on a whim a few years ago. And I just.
You did?
Yeah.
Without having trained?
I run every morning.
Oh, right.
And
you
I was
do.
like
Right,
in
right,
a gym
right.
all the time. And I was like, I run every morning. I think I can just do this. I've done some half marathons and I've always felt fine. And I just was like, I felt like I had some career like bummers that happened and I felt a little out of control.
Yep.
And I was like, I just want something I can control. And so that has nothing to do with my career. That feels like something I can accomplish on my own.
Yep.
So I like ran it on a whim and I finished in like the top 8% of my age group. And I beat all my friends who did it. I ran it like pretty fast. And my friend keeps being like, are you going to do it again? And I was like, no, because he's like, you can just like do it for fun. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
No, like that's not, doing it for fun is not fun for me.
Yeah.
Like I have to like be
Yeah.
doing it for a purpose
Yeah.
and like doing it like it so intensely for myself to have fun doing anything.
Shit.
I thought you were gonna be like, me too.
No, I ran a marathon once and I thought I was going to die.
Oh,
like
really?
I ran the New York City Marathon and I even trained and I was in sight of the finish line and didn't think I was going to finish and like didn't also there in your marathon were there a lot of people in costume?
No,
Because I had a lot of people
that's
in costume.
weird.
I was getting lapped by people in very awkward costumes that I was like, oh, like someone in a full Statue of Liberty outfit ran
that's
past
weird.
me.
That's crazy.
Peter Pan at some point, and I was like,
Oh,
that's humiliating.
that
When these
is.
people are doing it as a fucking joke, are going faster than me. I beat Oprah's time. That's the thing I wanted to beat.
Well, I mean, that's good. I mean, you
Yeah.
have to beat Oprah's time.
But I even stopped. I crossed the finish line and was like, at least this pain will leave my body. And then you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Pain, your body is in complete
like,
and total
wrecked,
pain.
yeah.
Like it's as if you're still running. And you're like, well, wait, I stopped running. And you're like, maybe I'll sit down. Then the pain will go away. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh, no. It's like you're still, I don't know whether it's lactic acid or what. I then slept in the sleep patterns of a newborn for 2 weeks, where you're like awake for an hour and then asleep for 3. You have to go backwards up and down stairs. I was completely fucking wrecked, and I didn't even like do it well. I can't believe that people could. Eddie Izzard
yeah.
ran a marathon a day for like a month,
Yeah, that's crazy.
and he's not some like fitness guru.
No. I know. There are some people that I feel like some people are just meant to run and some people are not.
But
You know?
yeah,
I think your body's just like meant for it or not. But it does wreck you. But I do feel like, why did you do the marathon though?
total. I think in retrospect, a total way to self punish.
Oh.
Totally.
Okay.
I think just like meh. I think actually the I remember why it was, and it was about self punishment. I drank too many beers on July 4th.
Okay.
And I was like, that was an outrageous number of beers. I'm going to train for a marathon tomorrow.
See, but that's where I think you're really intense.
That is, now
That
that I
is,
phrase
like,
it like
doing
that,
it for an intense
that's a
reason.
pretty intense reason.
Yeah. And it's for yourself. And it's
Yeah.
like, it is a bit of that like same hyper fixation kind of a
Yep.
thing where it's like, you have to take it to the extreme.
Yeah.
Where some people will be like, I won't drink for like a month, but you're
Yeah.
like, I'm going to run a marathon.
Yeah. Just a weird non sequitur.
Yeah.
Totally does not fit the situation at all. Would you
That's
do
why I
one
feel like-
again? You're not going to do one again.
Well, the only reason I would do right after I finished, and I just did it from myself. I was like, I just want to do it because also it was pissing me off that everyone was like, you're not going to train. And I was like, I'm going to be fine. And everyone was like, she's not going to be fine. I think people take me a little bit like, not seriously. They think I'm like, petite.
Yep.
And like whatever. And I hate that so much. So I was like, I'm going to be fine. And I'm going to be like so fine that I'm going to run faster than anybody. And I know myself and I know I'm going to be fine. And then my cousins who are also really intense people, I have like a group of cousins who are also intense, and they texted me after and they were like, you qualified for the Boston Marathon with your time. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh my God, I did. Not that I ever cared or was trying to do that or anything. And I actually missed it by a minute. And then I was like, do I have to do this again?
Yeah.
And then I decided like, no, I'm not really into like outside qualifiers as much as I am. And like, if I'm going to get real crazy, it's going to be from like something internal that I put on myself.
Yeah.
That's why I think when I met you, when you were doing UCB and doing Glee, there was something that I felt like resonated with me when I saw you do it, where I was like, oh, he's like intense in a way that like I understand, where like nobody told him to do this. Everybody's probably telling him not to do this.
Oh, it was probably not a great career move. Like the amount of time that I was devoting to that could have been devoted to like much more like remunerative activities.
But I feel like you also knew that was the best thing to do for your career.
Yeah.
And I was like, I feel like this is a similar thing where it's like people are going to be like, that's crazy. Why are you doing that? Don't do that.
Yeah.
But like you're like inside, I know like I need to do that or I need to run this marathon. It's like extreme for other people.
Yeah.
But it like makes sense to you.
Yes.
That's why I feel like the pop top thing, I'm like, what were you doing? Were you just like figuring out how to be a businessman or make money?
Yep.
Yeah. Or something?
Yeah.
Or like I can do this even if there's no like job available to me
Yeah.
or something?
Yeah. Pretty shitty business.
Yeah, but you were in business.
Yeah, I was.
You learned some stuff to like look into what your business you're in, I guess.
I sure did. Yeah.
You didn't get into another shitty business.
No.
After.
No.
Yeah, what'd you do with all the pop tops after?
Well, Trisha took a handful and made the gay chainmail.
Trisha is like a con artist somehow in this story.
Yeah.
I feel like Trisha looked it up and was like, they're actually not worth anything.
Yeah.
And then we look it up and we're like, they're actually worth a lot.
Yeah.
Trisha ran off with them.
I don't even know why. Yeah, they're actually they're an amazing invention. They didn't like somebody who figured it out because it's a double lever. I went into this is much later, but went down into like a YouTube K-hole of how complicated or how ingenious the thing is. Because it's a double lever. It has to like open the thing, but then go back.
Okay. I'm just like looking at it. So it has, okay.
If you look at it in slow motion.
Okay.
Because it has two like fulcrums.
I don't even know what a fulcrum is, honestly. I've heard the word before. It feels like I'm like listening to a watch video that Marco's trying to explain to me at the same time. I'm like, I don't care. I don't know what that is. Do you like watches too?
No, I can't wear them.
Are you allergic to them?
Basically, no, I feel super weird.
Yeah.
I can't wear jeans. I don't wear jeans. Can't wear jeans. Can't wear a watch. Can't wear it.
It bothers you on your body?
I think I look weird. Jeans, I look fucking insane.
Really?
Yep, I like them on other people. If I put them on, I'm suddenly a 15-year-old boy again. I think because I wore jeans for the first 22 years of my life every day, that I was just like, nope.
That's
not gonna
so
do it.
funny.
Can't do it. Can't have tried every
When did
kind
that
of jeans.
stop? When did the jeans stop?
Approximately around 9/11, but there's no real correlation there. But it was
like
around
there
that
is.
time.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. No, I just was like, nope. I'm not gonna do it anymore. Once I discovered like trousers, I was like, no, I'm like a pants person.
Nice.
I'm not gonna wear jeans. I don't own jeans.
Because you've always had like your own fashion. When I met you.
Yeah. That has never included blue jeans.
It is funny. I can't imagine you wearing jeans.
Yeah. No, I like them on other people. I love them on other people. I wish that I could wear jeans, but I look down and it's like looking at my bottom. The bottom half of me is 14 years old.
You know, I'm having a hard time wearing dresses. I haven't been able to wear dresses for like the last like 6 or 7 years.
Really?
I think I feel like super
trad
young.
wife?
Yeah, trad wife. I do feel super trad wife. I feel like it's the same thing where people like how people think I can't run a marathon on a whim. they like expect me to be in a dress. I feel like it puts me into that same like thing where they're going to be like, oh, she's cute and sweet and nice and she's wearing a dress. And like, I put it on and I feel so like probably similarly to how you feel wearing jeans. I feel so like, oh, this is like a younger, cutesier part of myself that like I just don't feel like I am. And Penelope wants me to wear dresses so badly. She's like, wear this dress. She wants me to be a trad wife. She wants me to cook, wear dresses, you know, do all that kind of stuff. But and she's so girly and wants to wear dresses all the time. And that was even hard for me at first because I was like, you don't want to be just like a sweet dress girl. But she is, so it's fine. She can be who she wants to be. But yeah, there is something weird about like feeling like you. I do feel like it makes me feel younger than I am. It's weird.
Yeah.
And like that nobody's taking me seriously if I'm wearing a dress.
Yep.
Like my dog. Like my dog.
Seriously.
Like my dog. Trask, stop. Yeah, that's so funny. Also, I know that my husband met you through martial arts stuff too.
Yes. Yeah.
Because you went like you're intense in that too.
Well, I did when I was like 10, got into it. But it's because once I like started reading Ninja Turtles comics, I was like, oh, I need to learn how to do that.
Nice.
That's
funny.
as like simple as the origin is. And then I'm not like violent or anything. Like I would have never been in like a physical altercation, like find violence completely abhorrent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always like, it's been
it's also like a way to ward off violence, I feel like.
Yes.
It's like a way of like stopping violence.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's like it's an antidote to violence, I feel like a bit. But
it ruins regular working out because you like can't just lift weights because you're like, well, this is like, that's only one thing. Whereas like training martial arts, you're doing both. You're exercising, but then you're learning something. So that's the problem about it, is that because then I'm probably less fit because I can't do boring. Like I can't just do repetitive. I can't just do yoga or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like because I was a cheerleader and like doing such extreme kind of working out.
Yeah,
that's why I have to run really fast, or it doesn't feel extreme or fun to me.
Totally.
And I feel like if I go to a workout class, I like sneak my headphone in my ear because I have to be like listening to something educational at the same time.
Yep.
So I wear my hair in like a low ponytail and wear my AirPods so I can just like go on autopilot and like do their class, but not listen to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it has to be like, I have to be doing something at the same time. I find it hard to like do crafts with my kids if they're not like purposeful.
Yep.
But
yep.
You know, we're all learning how to be better. I know that you also go to 2 martial art gyms. Are you not talking about that?
Yes. No, multiple ones. But it's like yeah.
Because you were like,
different
is this
styles
like not
of
allowed
stuff.
to be talked
No, because
about?
I don't know how to break up with people, so I won't. I'll just continue to do 4.
I know
4
that
gym, 1, 2 I don't go to as much anymore. 2, but it's just because I don't. Yeah, I'd rather just like pay the tax. Like it's a passive aggressive tax. It's like a.
I know my husband was paying it too for a while, and I kept being like, break up with this person. You can't pay this anymore. You don't even go there.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I will. And then he tried, and then like for some reason it was still getting charged, and then he had to try like 3 or 4 times to break up with this person.
Yeah.
But
no, this is 4. Yeah, currently 4 different
places
dojos.
that you're hitting up around town that don't know you're with any other dojos.
Yes. A couple of them know. A couple of them know about a couple of them.
Okay.
But not all 4 know about all 4.
So
it's
do
like
all your other families know about your other families?
It is like having secret other families. Yeah.
You might actually have a ghost baby somewhere else because it seems like you're good at keeping people from knowing things.
And it's not like, don't get the impression I'm like super good. I'm not like some like expert martial artist. It's just something I've done.
It's just like you're obsessed with it.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And then I get into the thing of like, I have to keep, it's all out of obligation. It's like, there's some enjoyment to it, but it's mostly, it's just something I do. And then it's something that I like that I do it, but I don't particularly enjoy doing it.
That's what I was wondering if the Pop-Tops were, though.
Probably a similar
Towards
thing.
the, like, later after you, like, did it become a thing that you do?
Yeah, but it's the second I knew it was a total waste of hundreds of hours of my time.
Then you stopped.
I finally stopped.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah.
I feel like, that it is hard to break up with those kinds of people in your lives. I feel like nannies or things like that is also hard to, like, people who are like in your life and like teaching you stuff.
I don't know. I don't know how you would do that.
I always joke that like you'd have to kill your nanny to like break up with them.
Or kill
like,
yourself.
I feel like I feel like there's like I wanted to write like a dark short one time about like this family who just like could never fire their nanny, so they would just like draw straws of like who had to kill them this time, and like they're just like burying nannies in the backyard because they know everything about you.
Yeah.
So, anyways, well, this has been so interesting for me. It has been. I feel like it's like a peek into your brain.
Yeah. I feel a little bit less mentally, talking about it, less mentally healthy than I thought I was.
Really?
Well, yeah, I think I'm a little bit more type A than I don't think of myself as type A, but I think I all the things we're talking about are like describing a very anal person. And I don't
think you are. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm somebody who trained myself weirdly to be type A because my natural state is not type A.
Yeah.
But I'm not type A in a way of like the person who was type A in school who was like, I'm type A I'm following my own rules of whatever I'm doing. And I'm really type A about my own rules. I see you a lot of times in the day.
Yeah.
But I do feel like you're so busy. I've always thought like you're so busy, but you're really present in your family's life.
Pretty good about have really lucked out work-wise that like have a lot to do day to day and week to week, but can sort of jam it in between the hours of like 10 and 2.
Yeah.
And then am able to like delegate it out. So I generally like will like drop off the kids, then like squeeze in a workout some days. And then, I just sit, I put in earplugs and then I like work as much as I can until turn off my phone as much as I can, and then try to get as much done. Try to enter a flow state, and then that helps. And then, and then generally try to leave stuff that I can sort of do, emails and stuff, leave that for when I'm back with the kids again, where you can sort of like do it from your phone while they're not looking or whatever. Yeah. And then it comes in and out. If I like have to direct ever, that you disappear for 2 months, like that's really labor intensive. How
often are you directing right now?
Usually once a year. This season of the show, I sort of like politely asked to not.
Okay.
Just because I have a large slate of like development of stuff that it's just I couldn't disappear for a couple of months. Even though I really enjoy directing. And then it would have been a month in Italy, which is amazing. But I was like, last year was able to do it. It was really 2 months back and forth, but it was to Chicago, which is great. It's where I grew up. So it was like working at home, like sleeping in my childhood.
Oh, that's
bed.
crazy.
It was awesome. And then, but it was just too much. And I was like, and this, it's a situation now where I'm writing all the episodes of the show. So I feel like my fingerprints are all over the show.
Are you writing by yourself the episodes?
Broadly speaking, yeah. I mean, I usually know what I'm writing when I sit down to do it. It's been talked through at a very, with a collaborator who is like in Ryan Murphy and in Todd Kubrick, who are sort of our like third man, our sort of like researcher, our sort of encyclopedia there. So like usually by the time I'm sitting down with like an outline to a draft, it's very, I'm never staring at a blank page.
Yeah, you kind of know where you're going.
Yes.
But then you're writing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's other projects I have that are a little bit more blank pagey, depending on. There's always some step of the process where of a project where you're like, what is this now?
Yeah.
But at least for a Monster, for an ongoing show, that's the benefit, is that you always kind of know what you're doing. Even in a show like ours where it resets every year. So So yeah, but I broadly have been able to carve out a fairly like good work-life balance with the help of like
that's
really,
great.
really, really high-level collaborators.
Yeah.
Helps.
That's so nice though, because I do feel like you are very present around like in things. You like know what's going on.
Well, because they're like, it's just a couple years they're going to hate
I know.
us.
I
You
know.
know, like it's like they're at least in
I know.
that period where like and I feel fortunate because it's like so many like, you know, a lot of crew, I don't know how they have families at all.
Yeah.
People who are there, you know, below the lines and grips and camera crew, like you just like disappear for months at a time, months completely gone.
Yeah.
And that would be, just intolerable.
Yeah, but it'll probably be good for their kids in the long run. Their kids will be really successful.
Oh, totally.
I feel like our kids are going to be like,
Totally.
why were you around
Basically.
so much?
Yeah. What do you do? Leave me alone.
Why were you there? Like, I would be more successful if you weren't around as much. No,
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows how any of it works? But yeah, that's crazy. And then when you are like researching the true story ones, so you have somebody who researches for you too?
Yeah, or you
but
sort
you
of-
get
you
into
do-
it, right?
Yeah, our process is generally to try to do a broad search to try to read as much as you can, but you actually get to sort of do a survey of the topic, and what you're searching for is like the angle, really.
Mm-hmm.
Like with Dahmer, for instance, like the second we sort of, you could tell who the dad was, like I was like, oh, that's the angle.
Okay.
Like because he was worried about him. Like it was that suddenly you had this way in. So like, and then you sort of wait for the sort of like really detailed filigrees therein. Like that can wait until you're sort of episode to episode. Then it was this additional thing of like, okay, what car did they have after they sold the Chevy? That sort of stuff, that real like granularity is like, and that's when a researcher is like super helpful. So you don't have to become like the world's leading expert per se.
Because people are going to people do look for those things in these. Like nonstop. Yeah.
Insane and impossible to please. Like we're not really trying to do that with the show anyway. We sort of talk about it as like, it's not a documentary.
Yeah.
We sort of always describe it as like, we're doing a painting. This isn't a photograph. And I think it actually makes the shows better. We're a little bit less tied to like this fact, then this fact, then this fact in chronological order. Like we're telling it in a different way that I think actually can get to like much deeper truths if you're not just bogged down by like, and then this, and then this. We jump through time, go back and forth. Sometimes you can sort of combine two characters. For instance, like in Dahmer, like the character that Niecy Nash played, Glenda Cleveland, was a real person, but a lot of what she does in the show is actually a composite of like 3 or 4 people who like lived in the building.
Okay.
So that's less quote unquote true. We were able to tell a way better, more full, and I would argue more like capital T true story by doing that elision. And being like, okay, we're sort of like not telling that thing quote unquote factually together, but we're able to tell a much more factual thing. It's like, what was his relationship to these people who he was sort of like hiding amongst is way more interesting. So like that's sort of the line that we walk creatively on the show.
Cool. I love it. I feel like you have to like research a lot of dark stuff though. Like you have to know a lot of dark stuff.
Yeah. But it's like, if it's so dark, we end up not doing the subject. We've done it. Sometimes it's because if it's so dark, it's not interesting.
On doing
Luigi.
Okay.
But he's less dark than just like a big question mark. There's like nobody, you don't know, nobody knows what's going on.
Yeah, it feels so fresh too, though.
Super fresh. It's in the middle of happening.
Yeah.
It's how the world how a certain segment of the highly online reacted to that, I thought was like, oh, that's really interesting and live, and we should dive deep into that. But we had to sort of let that go. We were gonna do a sort of to tie him with the Unabomber.
Okay. Also
really interesting, but just not. You're just like, it's not really a show there.
Yeah.
Some like like Ted Bundy, the Night Stalker,
Okay.
BTK are just, they're dark ciphers. They're just kind of
Yeah.
evil. And so
Yeah.
you don't want to, I don't want to be in their head. There's like there's no there. So you're like,
Yeah.
oh, these people aren't even interesting. It's just violent and like exploitative.
Yeah.
And that's just not like what we're
What
onto.
you're
So it
doing.
actually is like, it's actually really tricky to figure out, to find the subject.
Yeah, the people that have more there than just
Yeah, who you
darkness.
like sort of, you want to try to understand a bit. Even if you don't like them or even if what they did was like inexcusable, it's like interesting. Like Ed Gein was that. Just like, just like you're so
Yeah.
Even Dahmer was. Like you're just like, that's so weird. You're so weird. I
Yeah.
really want to learn more about what made you so strange.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like there will be many more that you'll be able to do because there's a lot of weirdos out there.
A lot of fucking weirdos.
A lot of fucking weirdos. We like to ask everybody what their biggest breakdown was in their full out moment, but I feel like your biggest breakdown in your full out story was like finding out they were worth nothing, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like, do you have like a big breakdown moment in your life that comes to mind?
It was probably breaking up with Trisha.
Oh my gosh, for Trisha.
It was a tough
Oh my
breakup.
gosh.
It was a tough breakup because I think I sort of at the time I was like, oh, she's the one. And then sort of dawning on, then in retrospect, you're like, no, I was friend zoned the whole time. That was never gonna happen.
But you're also in high school.
Yeah, but I think I was ready to go. I think had Trisha been like, let's fucking get married.
You would have?
Oh, hands down. And then she like moved to Florida where she was like working at a theme park. Had she been like,
moved to Florida with
yeah,
me,
like heartbeat,
you would have such a different life.
I would be dead in a ditch. That would be the fucking worst possible idea could have been to like leave high school and move to and work at a theme park. Or I'd be like real happy.
You'd just be like happy guy who like lives at a theme park. I feel like I try and think, I lived in Texas, and I almost went to Texas Tech. And then I didn't make the cheerleading team at Texas Tech, which was like so shocking to everyone because I was better than everyone.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like a game day cheerleader. I was like a competitive cheerleader. And also all the girls, the older girls who were still on the team, I don't think they liked me because I was petite little, and all the guys at the tryouts wanted to stunt with me.
Yeah.
And so I think they didn't, I think it was a little political and I didn't make this team. And there was like a gasp when it was announced that I didn't make it in the crowd. And so I went to school in Hawaii, but I feel like if I would have gone to Texas Tech,
Yeah.
I might work for Fox News right now,
Oh, no,
and
talk
I
about
like would
trad
have
life.
I would be wearing dresses still. I think I'm like, but
Be
would
married to
I
an
would have
oil
gotten
baron?
out? Yeah, yeah. I'd be like, I'd have like, this like huge living room with like big wood, huge giant furniture, like just giant things everywhere. Like, I don't know.
I like this for you.
I feel like it's so funny. Marco's like, it would be so funny to see like you take like to just like that path as a stand-up versus the path you're on as a stand-up, like what your jokes would have been.
Yes,
if you
you'd be like Grace Under
that.
Fire.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Like
I'd
my husband. Well, there'd be a lot of my husband
Yeah.
jokes.
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
Yeah.
A lot of man cave references.
Yeah.
So good.
A lot of church
Can we
stuff.
ask where Trisha is now?
Oh yeah, where's Trisha now? It's not my
Trisha's-
mom, right?
Are you guys like?
Can you
friendly,
imagine
or
if this
you-
Yeah, Trisha and I are friendly. She, yeah. We haven't spoken in a while. She's really good about calling. It's one of those things where it's like sometimes it's a very long conversation because when you don't speak with someone for a year, then you're like,
Yeah.
and that, which is great. But then it's like it disincentivizes me from wanting to read. So then it goes longer and longer. But
Yeah.
she's married. I believe is in the Gulf Shores of Alabama.
Oh. I went to the
Still
Gulf
worked
Shores.
for a theme park. I mean, this is the thing about working for a theme park is like you can give your whole, particularly as like a dancer, you like give your whole life and like body but like if you worked in Disney corporate and did that the whole time, you'd be like a profit participant. You'd have like stock options, but at like the lowest level of working at a theme park, you get chewed up and spat out, I think in a way that's not unfair, that people don't really think about. That like to be a theme park performer is to really be exploited by large theme parks.
Yeah.
It has completely changed my, like even at Universal, like you're just like, ooh, that's tough. That's a tough living. But as well.
Is she still a dancer there?
Yeah, but I think it's like hard on your body.
Yeah.
You're also dancing constantly. You're constantly dancing. Like if you're up on like there are different like tracks. Like you can be a dancer at like a castle, and you learn all these like the castle, like at that whatever the fucking one it's like Sleeping Beauty or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a dance there every hour or something, and then people usually, I think it's just hips. I think your hips are like shot.
Yeah. My friend was in a theme park performer for a while. Do you know Natalie Lander?
No.
I feel like she might have met her at something of ours or something through something. She's so funny. She was. Do you know David Lander from? Do you know Lenny and Squiggy from?
Yeah.
So her dad was Squiggy.
So good.
And she's like she's one of my best friends, and we were on this show together forever. But she when she was in college, I think she went to Pepperdine. When she was at Pepperdine, she worked at Disneyland as a performer in High School Musical, the performance.
Yeah.
And like their status amongst the cast members. And I think she was in like a higher status one. Mm-hmm. And it's like a whole, the fact that like nobody's really done a show about theme park workers is weird.
Yeah, they should.
I feel like Disney's like just shuts it down like left and right. I'm sure they just like crush it, because I've heard some crazy stories from theme park
I think it's dark.
Yeah.
I think it's like a flesh trade.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really, and also the people who like the character behind the costumes, they're like low on the totem pole.
You'd be good though. There's always a height limit.
As a load. I wanted to be Tinkerbell for a while there, but then I found out it was like not a good job to have as like a work. I don't know. We're going there in like a few days, and we just found out something that if a kid, I guess, hugs a character, they're not allowed to let go until the kid lets go. So I'm going to get my daughter to hold on for as long as, I just want to like see how long we can get this bit to go. Just like, don't let go. Yeah. If you stay, I'll buy you whatever you want. If you don't let go for as long as you possibly, will they stay for like an hour? What if they have to rush them off places and they just don't let go? Yeah.
Do you know Disneyland has like no corners? There's no secret corners where teenagers could make out.
Did you and Trisha discover that? You wish. I feel like
totally. Well, she was at first at SeaWorld.
Oh.
And then switched to Disneyland. They also or Disney World. They also last time I was at Disney, I made the mistake of laying down for a second on a bench. Less than a minute. Had a ring rapping on the ding, 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 ding. They're like, get up. I was like, I'm just laying down. They're like, nope. No, they do not want anything resembling homelessness.
Oh,
or like
my
sleep.
Gosh.
I had like my infant son like on my, like clearly. And they're like, nope. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. Police
oh my gosh.
state.
I'm going to try that too.
Try it.
Also, I really want Marco to fake propose to me in front of the castle and act like we're just getting engaged. And last time we were there years ago, I was like, he'll go along with this bit. He'll do it. Like, he's funny like that.
Yeah.
He won't do it.
Really?
He doesn't like in person, like bits like that. But we're going with like some other friends. And I think that maybe one of them will do it, because it's just like, I think it would be so funny to do like a proposal.
Your Texas husband would have done that.
Yeah, and that's
He
probably
would
how
have
he
been
would have
totally
proposed.
like a good old boy. He would be all into pranks and stuff.
But that's probably how he would
great.
have actually proposed.
Yeah.
My Texas husband.
Yeah.
Like in front of the Disney castle.
Yeah.
That's probably what I would have wanted. And I would have been wearing
Oh
a
my
dress
God.
and I would have had a photographer there
Yes.
to document the whole thing. And I would have gotten my hair and makeup done at the Bippity Boppity Boutique.
Yes.
See, I know how to be that person.
I think you are that
I
person.
think I am. Ian calls me Tanny whenever we see each other in person.
That is Tanny. That's totally
That's
Tanny.
so Tanny. Because my name's Brittany Tanny.
It's the shortening
I
no
don't-
one does.
It's
No
the
one
nickname that
shortens.
nobody.
No,
He's
no.
always like, "Hey, Tanny." It's like so funny,
So gross.
so funny and gross. But like, you kind of see that part of me. I feel like Tanny.
Yeah.
Okay, where can people find your they can find your stuff everywhere. But is there anything you want people to watch currently or?
No, check out the next season of Monster. It'll be in October. It's the Lizzie Borden story. It's great.
Whoa. Whoa.
Ella Beatty,
crazy.
Vicky Creeps, Rebecca Hall, Charlie Hunnam.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
great. It's wild. It's
Whoa, that's crazy.
stylish and
Lizzie
fun.
Borden?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's great. It's a crazy.
I didn't know you were doing that.
Yeah, it's a crazy story.
Whoa. Okay.
It's really good. I'm shooting it right now.
Crazy. Okay. Cool.
Watch this space.
When does it come out? Next
Always
season
like
will
the
be.
same day. They're weird about. They're very specific about like release dates.
Okay.
It's like been the same like Thursday
Oh.
the whole time. So it's like the first Thursday in October or something, maybe end of September.
Okay. Okay.
But-
Cool. Cool.
It's
Okay.
good. It's gonna be good.
Well, thanks so much for doing this. This
Oh my
is
God,
so
it's
fun.
amazing.
I hope you don't feel less good about your mental state.
A little bit.
Okay, great. That's all I wanted to do to you. Thanks for coming. Bye.
Yay.